Now we got a dog warning a woman. Okay, she's walking through a dark and lonely street at night, and the dog's trying to get her to turn back. Can you see anything? Okay, there's a man. This is amazing, right? This is animals for you at their fullest. That dog obviously senses that this man is some kind of a lunatic or wants to do this woman harm, and so she runs. You gotta love animals, right? Just when you think you've seen everything this world has to offer, something like this crawls straight out of the darkness. A homeowner shared security camera footage recorded around 2 a.m. Their dog is outside barking at something. Dogs bark at night all the time, that part's normal, but what's not normal is what the camera captures next. Crawling along the ground is a creature with long limbs and arms that stretch far beyond what any human arms should. Its neck is crooked in a way that looks completely unnatural. The face appears distorted and the head looks almost bald with barely any hair at all. It slowly crawls toward the dog, then it rises up. The creature stands and reaches out in the direction of the animal, but what happens next is almost as strange as the creature itself. The dog suddenly launches into the air and disappears completely out of frame, just gone. The creature simply looks upward as if watching where the dog went. With everything artificial intelligence can do today, well, nothing can be ruled out. That dog's sudden exit alone raises questions, but if this is not artificial intelligence, then something very unusual may have been crawling through a residential neighborhood at 2 in the morning. Invisible children and a security guard with balloons. All right, let's see what this is all about. I'm not sure. Could it be possible that this security guard, this is obviously CCTV footage, but is it possible that the security guard has something attached to him that we can't see and he's pulling the balloons very carefully? And also, if these are 2 children, how come one's very low down and the other's very high up? And I could believe this isn't CGI or AI, but I don't believe that it's not staged in some way. You cannot look at the Epstein files without noticing something strange about the food references, because the deeper investigators dig into the millions of pages of documents, the harder it becomes for some people to explain away what they're seeing. The word pizza alone appears more than 900 times throughout the files. On its own, well, that would not seem unusual at all, but what raises eyebrows for many readers is the context surrounding these mentions. One email reportedly reads, "Let's go for pizza and grape soda again." The line ends with a remark suggesting that no one else would understand. That single phrase has drawn a lot of attention from people examining the documents. And pizza's not the only word that appears repeatedly. Cream cheese shows up at least 196 times. Pasta appears more than 400 times. In several places, these words appear together in combinations that some researchers say feel unsettling. Child safety researchers have long warned that certain communities online sometimes use coded language to communicate without being detected. In discussions about those alleged codes, pizza has been interpreted to mean girl, hot dog to mean boy, cheese to mean little girl. Pasta to mean little boy, and ice cream to mean male prostitute. What has drawn attention is that each of these words appears repeatedly throughout private correspondence connected to powerful individuals mentioned in these files. Then there's the word cereal. Some researchers have tried to link it to the ancient Roman Cerealis festival, a ceremony associated with offerings meant to bring wealth and fertility. Whether that connection has any real basis or not is still heavily debated, but it's another detail people point to while examining the documents. For many observers, the sheer number of these repeated food references raises questions, and as more of the files are studied, the discussion surrounding what they might mean continues to grow. Okay, now we got a clip that was apparently filmed in 1987, so the footage is a little bit grainy and of the type of cameras we had in that day, but then again, saying that, you know how I feel about a lot of the grainy footage that seems to be taken today, which is obviously AI, because otherwise it would be crystal clear, because that's what our cameras are like on our phones these days. So is this going to be something to make it look like it was recorded in 1987, or was it actually? Well, let's find out. I want to see what the comments say on this. Are there comments anywhere? No. That's a pity. Oh no, comments here. Let's have a look. I can't see the comments. That's a shame. I think this is staged. I mean, it's very clever and it's brilliantly done, but it looks, the way it moves looks too CGI. Is that just me? You know, I understand. I'm very skeptical a lot of the time when it comes to this sort of stuff. I'm not saying it couldn't be real. Anybody that think it is, let me know in the comments. But I personally can't see this being real. That's just me. Now, we've always been told that superhumans belong in fiction, walking through walls, teleportation, moving objects with the mind. These are the things you expect to see in Marvel movies and Hollywood blockbusters, CGI, green screens, and clever editing. Well, that's the explanation we're used to. But then a video like this appears and suddenly that certainty starts to slip. In the footage, a man wearing a coat approaches a wired fence. He doesn't slow down, he doesn't stop to look for a gap. He simply walks straight forward and passes through it as if the fence isn't even there. Standing nearby is an elderly woman who watches the entire thing unfold, and she clearly sees him go through. Naturally, she decides to try it herself, expecting the same result. But when she reaches the fence, reality hits hard. She runs straight into it. And that's where the debate always begins with clips like this. Is it edited or real? Is it clever visual effects or something genuine? In today's world, that question is more than fair. Technology has become incredibly good at creating illusions that look completely convincing. Still, there's something that keeps pulling people back to videos like this. Across history, across cultures, across civilizations all over the world, there have been stories about people who seem to operate beyond what we consider normal human limits. Accounts of abilities that shouldn't exist, abilities that science has never fully explained, which raises an unsettling possibility. What if every once in a while someone comes along who simply doesn't follow the same rules as the rest of us? Most of us have never stood face to face with a polar bear. We see them in documentaries, peaceful footage of them rolling in the snow or gliding through icy water like giant white swimmers. Somewhere in the back of our minds, we file them away as something like a very large dog, big, impressive, but still manageable in our imagination. Then someone visits a zoo and captures footage like this. Look at the size of that animal. Standing in the water inside its enclosure, it doesn't even look real at first. The scale's hard to process. This is a creature that can stand more than 10 feet tall on its hind legs. That's taller than most ceilings in a typical home. Male polar bears can weigh anything between 800 and 1,500 pounds. The largest one ever recorded pushed close to 2,000 pounds. Imagine the weight of a small car staring directly back at you. Even their paws are enormous. A single paw can measure around 12 inches across. One swipe from something that size, and the outcome would be in doubt. And despite that incredible mass, they're shockingly fast. On land, they can reach speeds of about 25 miles per hour. In the water, they can swim for days without stopping. This is the apex predator of the Arctic. The very top of the food chain. Nothing hunts the polar bear. Which is why next time you see one behind thick glass at a zoo, you might feel a little grateful for that barrier between you and it. Now this sounds like something out of It. To me it does anyway. We got some people that find a hidden tunnel in the woods that goes on for miles with children's clothes inside. Well, that's creepy. Let's see what we got. You wouldn't get me down there in a month of Sundays. I'm telling you that now. Whoa, 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 whoa. Well, the tunnel's real. So there's one of two explanations. Either these guys found the tunnel and decided to make a funny video to get their clickbait, 5 minutes of fame, or this is real, and if so, that's creepy as hell, and I hope they reported it to the authorities to get that damn thing sealed up. That's all I can say about that. Never ignore the feeling of being watched. It sounds like something straight out of a horror movie, the kind of line people say right before something strange happens, but what happened to this woman might make you take that feeling a little more seriously. She just moved into a new apartment. Almost immediately, something felt off. Day after day, she had the same uncomfortable sensation, that quiet, crawling feeling that someone was watching her. Most people would brush it off, tell themselves it was just nerves or imagination, but she couldn't shake it. One night, while getting ready for bed, the feeling returned stronger than ever. Instead of ignoring it, she grabbed her phone and started recording. And what she captured is what stopped her cold. Standing in the doorway, looking directly down at her, was a figure. You can clearly make out the shape of a head and nose, eyes, but there's no hair. The rest of the body appears almost transparent, blending into the darkness behind it. And then there's the detail that makes the whole thing even stranger. In the center of its chest, there's a faint but unmistakable glow. Most people who see the clip jump to the same conclusion: a ghost, a spirit, something paranormal. But the woman who recorded it doesn't believe that at all. She believes it's something else entirely, an alien that's been visiting her regularly, something that's been there many nights before, unseen until now. And that glow in its chest? Well, she believes it might be some kind of cloaking device, which raises a chilling question. If this was the first night she finally saw it, how many nights before that was it already standing there? We spend a lot of time looking at ancient structures and asking the same question. How were these built without modern tools? And to be fair, that's a reasonable question. Some people even suggest aliens had something to do with it, but structures like this might offer a much simpler answer. Take the ancient stone arch homes of Lebanon. Many of them have stood for centuries, surviving brutal winters and scorching summers. And they were built with just limestone mortar and human hands. Workers first cut rectangular limestone blocks by hand. Masons then smoothed the edges until each stone fit tightly against the next like pieces of a puzzle. They built the walls and window frames, then came the most impressive part, the arched roof. Using a wooden frame as a guide, they stacked stones toward the center of the arch until the final stone was placed, the keystone. Once the keystone was locked in, the wooden frame beneath could fall away. The arch held perfectly still, supported by nothing but physics, patience, and human skill. These homes also stay warm in winter and cool in the summer, which makes you wonder. Before giving credit to aliens, maybe we've all been underestimating what human beings were capable of all along. This is a wedding photograph of a groom dancing with his mother, a beautiful moment, the kind of memory families frame and keep for years. But someone took a closer look at the picture, and what they noticed might make you rethink every photograph you've ever taken. On the right side of the frame, a waiter is walking past, nothing unusual about that, but just behind the waiter, standing perfectly still near the curtain, is something else, and it doesn't look like a guest watching the celebration. This thing, and that word feels intentional here, has an unnaturally pale face. The eyes appear black and hollow, and the expression is difficult to describe, but it certainly doesn't look friendly. Then someone noticed something else. On the left side of the photograph, tucked into the corner behind another guest, is a pair of glowing eyes, also pointing directly at the dance floor. Easy to miss at first. Many people say they didn't even notice it until someone pointed it out in the comments, which means this single photo appears to show two strange figures watching the same moment. Two entities, one wedding. No explanation. And it leaves you wondering what the groom, his mother, or someone connected to them might have done to attract that kind of attention from the other side. Now, can Bigfoot or Sasquatch climb trees? Why the hell not? I mean, they got arms and legs, you know? But this is what we're supposed to be watching now, so let's take a look. That's a gorilla, right? That's a gorilla? It looks like a gorilla. It doesn't have what I would say the proportions of a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch, what we would normally think they look like anyway. So I'm calling gorilla. I think the footage is real. I just don't think it's a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot, but you tell me. Now, have we got a dragon here? Some kind of a large reptile, but a man is feeding it in an unknown facility. Okay, does this mean that he is the only person who knows this facility and he's got like a pet or something? Man, I hope that's real. Well, maybe I don't. I mean, all creatures should be free. If dragons do exist, or indeed did exist, why should we keep them caged up? That's the way I look at things, but maybe it's just me. Okay, now this happened over Turkey, and it's supposedly the best evidence we've got for UFOs. This was called the Kumburgaz incident, and it occurred between 2007 and 2009. All right, let's have a look.
That you can see the occupants. It is 100% real, and I was there as that was filmed.
The whole footage has been analyzed for a more scientific board for 2.5 weeks, frame by frame, pixel by pixel, and this is 100% genuine.
No way.
See the occupants.
No way, no way, no way. I have every reason to believe this is possibly real, but once again, why is the footage always blurry? Why is the footage always blurry? This was 2007 and 2009. Now, our cameras were still good enough. Even camcorders. But we know that we got aliens on this planet. We know we do. We got Greys, we got, I don't know, possibly Anunnaki. We got aliens on this planet. We just do. Sorry, we do. So there's no reason for me to believe that this wasn't real. There's bound to be hidden footage. So I don't think this is fake, but you tell me.
The close-up of a craft, so close that you can see the occupants. It is 100% real, and I was there as that was filmed.
Two friends are out having a great time, laughing, drinking, arms around each other. Someone snaps a photograph, just a normal night out. At least that is what it looked like at first. But when they looked back at the picture later, something was very wrong. Right there in the small gap between the two men, a face appears, pressed directly into the space between their bodies. And it's not just any face, it's pale, almost gray, like something that's not been seen in sunlight for a very long time. What makes it even stranger is what's behind them. Just darkness, an empty part of the room. Both men insist no one was standing there when the photograph was taken. And there's another detail that makes this harder to explain. Look at their shirts. If a real person has forced their face between them, well, the fabric would show it. Would you see the shirts pressing inward around the face? Well, yeah. But that's not what's happening here. The fabric sits perfectly flat, completely undisturbed, which raises an uncomfortable question. No one was standing behind them, and no one was physically between them. So whose face is that? Two experienced physicians, Paul Thomas and Kenneth Stoller, have filed legal action against the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, better known as the CDC. Their argument is simple. They claim the CDC recommends a large number of vaccine doses throughout childhood, but has not conducted studies examining how the full schedule interacts when vaccines are administered together. According to their lawsuit, the lack of combined testing raises questions about how the schedule is evaluated. Another point raised in the case focuses on reporting requirements. Under federal law, the CDC is expected to submit regular vaccine safety reports to the United States Congress. The lawsuit argues that these reports have not been submitted consistently over the past decades. Supporters of the lawsuit point to rising diagnosis of conditions such as autism spectrum disorder, along with increases in autoimmune and neurological disorders as issues they believe deserve deeper investigation. Critics, however, note that many researchers attribute the rise in autism diagnosis to improved awareness, broader diagnostic criteria, and better screening rather than vaccines. The case also mentions that Dr. Thomas lost his medical license shortly after publishing research comparing vaccinated and unvaccinated children, something his supporters say raises concerns about open debate within the medical field. At the center of the dispute is a larger question about transparency, regulation, and how public health decisions are communicated to the public. And now that the lawsuit exists, the real question becomes whether the courts will force those issues into the open. Now, here's something I want you to sit with for a moment. Have you ever actually compared a school to a prison? Not metaphorically, literally. Children are lined up and placed into rooms. Their movements are dictated by bells and alarms. They queue for meals that, let's be honest, are not exactly nutritious. They must raise their hands to speak. They move only when permitted, and they stay indoors under artificial lighting until someone decides it's time to go home. Now, swap the word children for inmates and ask yourself what really changed. And here's what makes it even more unsettling. Research shows that artificial lighting affects living things. Studies on files found that it shortens their lifespan. Chickens under artificial lights lay fewer eggs. People spending most of their time indoors compared to those in nature show measurable signs of stress, fast heartbeats, elevated blood pressure. So we're taking children, growing, developing human beings, and keeping them inside artificial environments for the majority of their waking hours every single day for years. And the system that confines prisoners, well, it looks almost identical. Which leads to the question no one really wants to ask. Is the government using both these systems to shape people into a particular way of thinking and obeying? An octopus riding an eel! Holy shit! Okay, and it does this so it can escape at the right time using ink as a smoke screen. Wow, I gotta see this. What we got. Oh, that's cool. Yeehaw! Riding cowboy! Make him work for that supper, boy. That's fantastic. Rodeo, baby. Riding cowboy, go and ride him, yeah. That's great. That's great footage. I love that. I love the fact that we know this is real. It's fantastic. Look at him go, man. Little eight-legged wonder.
Por eso es muy importante durante el entrenamiento y cuando firman el juramento que ellos están confirmando que no van a ser partidistas.
In this video, something truly bizarre happens during a live news interview. As the reporter speaks to the camera, a man suddenly appears out of nowhere right behind the woman being interviewed. The atmosphere around him seems to ripple or wobble as if he just stepped out of some sort of portal or dimensional rift. It's as if he wasn't there one moment and then in the blink of an eye he materialized out of thin air. The way the air seems to distort around him is really strange, like the fabric of reality itself was disturbed. This has left many people wondering, did this man just time travel? Did he step through a portal from one dimension? Or is there some other explanation for this eerie phenomenon? There have been numerous eerie reports from people claiming to have seen figures or even entire cities floating in the sky. One observer shared footage of what they saw at the edge of the clouds were these strange shadowy figures all through the sky. It almost looks like people standing all around, watching from the clouds. It's unsettling to say the least. While some viewers might think it's a supernatural event, others explain this phenomenon as a fata morgana, a type of mirage that distorts distant objects, often making them appear as though they're floating. Still, it's hard to shake that eerie feeling when you see something like this. Could it just be a mirage, or is there something more mysterious at play? What do you think? I can't stress this enough. Before you buy a new home, it's always a good idea to dig into the property's history. You'd be surprised how many people unknowingly move into houses with paranormal activity only to find out after it's too late. Take this couple for example. One night they were woken up by strange noises coming from the attic. Curious and a little freaked out, they decided to investigate. After a thorough search, they were led to something far more terrifying than they expected. On the roof, peeking through a gap, was a creature with a pale body and glowing eyes. It was watching them silently, its head sticking out from the attic, observing the couple like intruders. Shocked and terrified, the couple quickly abandoned their investigation and retreated to their room, leaving the creature in the attic. I mean, how are you supposed to deal with something like that in the middle of the night? There's no way you're going to try to kick out a glowing-eyed creature from your own house at 3 a.m. What would you do if you were in their shoes? We've got one of those clips that makes you take a second look to make sure that you were seeing right. Take a look. What do you think that is? We all agree it's not every day you step out and see a strange creature sitting in a tree outside your house. The individual who uploaded this was very confused and perhaps a little scared. She also wanted answers, as she wanted to know if she was safe or had to move. Once it went live, different individuals had different theories on what that might be and what might be going on. Some thought it had to be an otherworldly being observing the individual from the trees, while others thought they were nothing more than mango thieves hiding in the truth when they heard her coming out. Mango thieves sound logical, but those eyes don't look like they belong to a human, at least from my point of view. But then again, you guys have seen the clip, so what do you think? A woman was enjoying a peaceful day at the beach when something caught her eye. Out in the distance, just beyond the breaking waves, she noticed a figure in the water. At first, it seemed like an ordinary swimmer, but as you look closer, you realize this is no human. The creature's upper body was humanoid, with arms that emerged eerily from the water and a head that appeared to scan the shoreline. But then, without warning, it leapt out of the sea, revealing its lower half, a rigid, fish-like tail unlike anything she'd ever seen. The tail wasn't smooth or flowing like that of a dolphin, but instead seemed almost mechanical, stiff, and oddly proportioned to its upper body. As quickly as it had appeared, the creature plunged back into the depths. Was this a glimpse of the mythical mermaid, or perhaps something else entirely? An unknown species that defies explanation. What do you think? Back in 2019, a man stumbled upon a series of massive footprints while exploring southeast Indiana. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. These weren't ordinary footprints. The impressions were about 6 inches wide, 18 inches long, and 4 inches deep, as if something incredibly heavy had made them. The track spanned a stretch of the ground, with each footprint spaced a full 70 inches apart, suggesting an enormous stride. He counted around 8 prints in total, though he managed to capture only 2 in photos. Take a look at these prints. The definition is remarkable. You can see the toes in the outline, as if whatever made them left behind a clear imprint of its foot. The scale of these prints doesn't align with any known animal in the area, but they closely match the reported sightings of a massive 8-foot-tall Sasquatch-like creature. And the man who found these tracks had actually spotted a Sasquatch himself in the same area not long before. What do you think? Is this compelling evidence of Bigfoot, or could there be another reason for these mysterious prints? This footage was captured by a home surveillance camera set up outside overlooking the property. In the dead of night, a mysterious figure appeared, walking across the yard. Just as quickly as it arrived, it vanished into thin air. The figure was small, almost resembling a waddling toddler, but it moved in a way that seemed strange, not quite natural. Some say it might just be a trick of the light, but skeptics believe there might be something more to this eerie sighting. What do you think this could be? Did you know many individuals who have come across Bigfoot sightings in places of sleep have always noticed rock stacks? This clip was uploaded to one of our paranormal platforms by Rodney, who stated that he was out exploring and capturing as much of the outdoors as possible. After capturing and recording to his heart's content, he went home to review his work and adventure, and that's when he saw it. Although quite a distance from him, he could see it peeking and hiding in the bushes. Pay attention to the upper left corner, else you might miss it. Now, when this was uploaded, Bigfoot enthusiasts were excited and wouldn't stop talking about it. Those, just like you and I, were skeptical and stated that the quality of the clip was too low to determine if what we were seeing was indeed Bigfoot. But then again, you've seen the clip yourself, so what do you think? When it comes to Bigfoot sightings, we usually hear about an ape-like creature standing around 8 feet tall, almost human-like, covered in hair. However, the image you're looking at right now challenges that common description. This blurry headshot was taken years ago by the late Scott Carpenter, who firmly believed that he had captured footage of a Bigfoot. But here's where it gets interesting. This creature's face doesn't match the typical Bigfoot description. Instead, it has an eerie, almost human-like appearance with features that resemble something wearing an eye mask that covers only the upper half of the face. The chin, mouth, and jaw look distinctly human. Scott Carpenter suggested that Bigfoot might look different depending on where they're from. Could this be true? Are we looking at a regional variation of Bigfoot, or is this something entirely different? What are your thoughts? A photographer was out near some springs in the Utah mountains when he heard a strange noise. Instinctively, he turned his camera toward the sound, and this is what he captured. Behind a cluster of trees, there was a huge bipedal figure slowly moving through the brush, almost as if it was stalking him. He later shared the footage online, sparking a lot of debate. Some believe it's just a hoax, a man in a costume, and honestly, that theory has gotten a lot of traction. But others, like Aaron and a few passionate wildlife enthusiasts, are convinced this is the real deal, the elusive Bigfoot. What do you think, hoax or genuine sighting? This clip was shared by a hiker who was out in the woods when he noticed something or someone watching him from a distance, partially hidden behind a tree. Feeling uneasy, he quickly snapped a photo of what he described as the creep. The image he captured is eerie, showing a large creature that appears to be an unsettling grin on its face. Although the picture is blurry, a closer look reveals a menacing smile. Judging by the broad shoulders and the head peeking over the bushes, many believe this creature could be a Bigfoot. The size, posture, and overall presence certainly match descriptions of the legendary cryptid, but what makes this even creepier is the grin, almost as if it was aware of being watched. But riddle me this, why would a Bigfoot be smiling when it knows it's being watched? A tourist was out camping in the woods of Lancashire, London. Why, you ask? Well, after a long day of hiking, he had to find a spot to stay for the night. As he had his camera rolling, he suddenly felt the unnerving sensation of being followed. When he turned to look behind him, he saw something truly unsettling. A creature covered in thick, dark fur creeping up on him. The creature walked on two legs with its face obscured by the shadows, but it was clear that this wasn't a Bigfoot. So what exactly is it? Well, some believe this was a sighting of the elusive Dogman, but given how close this creature was to the man, it raises a chilling question. If this was real, how did the man escape unharmed? This makes me question the authenticity of the footage. What do you think, though? Is this sighting real or just another fake? The person behind the camera was passing by a closed shop with large glass windows. At first glance, you might think those are just stains or spots on the walls and floor, but not. Those are all insects. Would you look at that? Insects are crawling all over the walls and covering the floor like a living carpet. It's hard to tell exactly what kind of insects they are, but the sight is undeniably disturbing. The way they blanket the entire area makes the scene almost surreal, like something out of a horror movie. But you have to ask, why are so many insects gathered in one place? Is it some kind of infestation? Anyone with answers is allowed to educate the rest of us.
I hear somebody talking. Somebody's down there.
This footage comes from a man who decided to explore an abandoned tunnel on his own. After wandering through several pathways, he eventually found one that led him down to a set of stairs into a damp, eerie space filled with a murky green water. The entire place was falling apart with rusty walls, crumbling structures, a real underground maze. As he went further in, strange noises began echoing around him. Curious and a little uneasy, he set his camera down to capture what was happening, and that's when he saw it. A humanoid figure roaming through the shadows. He'd hear a sound, and then silence. At one point he even started hearing faint noises, but no one was there. Toward the end of his exploration, he spotted someone holding a flashlight at the far end of the tunnel. Then, to his shock, he heard gunshots echoing through the space. That was his signal to get out of there and fast.
I hear somebody talking. Somebody's down
I don't know, but I feel one of you here is about to buy a house. Consider this another eerie reminder of why it's always wise to know the history of a house before buying it. A Hungarian couple had just moved into their new home when strange, unsettling things started to happen. In this clip, their surveillance camera catches their dog barking at what seems to be empty air. But if you look closely, you'll see faint, shadowy figures hovering in the room for a few seconds. Then, the dog suddenly bolts out, and almost immediately, a chair slides away from the table as if pulled by an unseen force. In another clip, things get even creepier. The couple is jolted awake in the middle of the night by a loud banging noise from the bathroom. When they get up to investigate, they cautiously pull back the shower curtain, only to find nothing. It seems their new home may not be so new after all. Something else may be residing there with them. This footage was taken in a hospital, and it shows something rather unexpected. There's a thin trail of blood on the floor starting from behind a cabinet, and when you follow it, you find the cause, a small leech. But what is a leech doing in a hospital room? One comment sheds some light on this fascinating scenario. Been there, seen it. We used leeches on reattached fingers and toes to promote healing by removing waste products and ensuring blood flow to the surgical area. They are amazing little creatures, and many appendages have been saved by them. However, as they do their job, the leeches expand until they fall off. If I didn't get back to the room by the time they fell off, I'd often have to follow the blood trail to find the little guys. It's incredible to think that these tiny creatures play such a significant role in modern medicine. Leeches are used to help ensure blood flow to surgical areas, especially in cases where fingers or toes have been reattached. Their natural ability to promote healing is something doctors have harnessed for years. It's fascinating and a bit eerie to imagine following a blood trail in a hospital to find one of these little helpers. I wonder what other surprising uses they have in their medical field. A man was parked outside a hospital after visiting a loved one when something caught his eye. Just as he was about to drive off, he noticed a strange sight and quickly took out his phone to record it. Emerging from the entrance was a human-like figure, almost like white smoke slowly drifting out. It wasn't a person, and it definitely wasn't fog or steam from the building. It moved with purpose, almost as if it had a mind of its own. The shape was distinct, resembling a person walking right out of the hospital doors, but it had an otherworldly, ethereal quality to it. Did this man just capture footage of a ghost? It sure looks like it, and with a setting as eerie as a hospital known for its connection to life and death, it's hard not to wonder if he encountered something supernatural. Hospitals are often rumored to be haunted, with stories of lingering spirits who have unfinished business or simply can't move on. Could this be one of those spirits? A few months ago, a man was outside when he noticed something strange in the sky. There were 3 odd-looking objects just hovering up there. No one was able to figure out exactly what they were, but that's not even the most bizarre part. These objects appeared to be rotating slowly, almost as if they were surveying the area. Then, towards the end of the clip, something shocking happens. The one in front, without any warning, shoots up into the sky at lightning speed. Just like that, gone in an instant. It's hard not to wonder what these things could be. Could it be alien technology, or perhaps these objects aren't machines at all, but some kind of entity we don't yet understand? The speed and movement definitely hinted something beyond our current knowledge. Some subscribe to the idea of it being AI, and you can't blame them. Aaron, on the other hand, thinks this might be the real deal. What say you? This new footage from Mexico has people talking. It shows a blurry figure in the sky which many believe to be an alien creature. The figure appears to have wings and moves about, changing its shape as it floats. What makes it even more striking is its purple color, which adds an eerie, almost otherworldly feel to the whole scene. Now, the footage is not the clearest, which makes it hard to say for sure what we're looking at, but it certainly looks unusual. Could this be some kind of rare atmospheric phenomenon, or maybe it's truly something extraterrestrial, as some suggest? And the biggest question is, what was this recorded on?
So, we just seen this. Thought we'd share it with you guys. I've never seen anything like this in my life.
It's a real vivid circle rainbow around the sun, but then there's a second rainbow.
This video was taken in southern Oregon at a park, and what appeared in the sky is truly mesmerizing. There are not one, but two completely rainbow perfect circles. The smaller one sits perfectly inside the larger one, creating an incredible sight that almost looks too perfect to be real. Rainbows are typically seen as arcs, but under certain conditions, such as when viewed from a high vantage point like an aeroplane, or when the sun is at the right angle, a full circle rainbow could be visible. However, seeing two complete circles like this one within the other is extremely rare. Have you ever seen anything like this? Share your experience.
So we just seen this. Thought we'd share it with you guys. I've never seen anything like this in my life.
It's a real vivid circle rainbow around the sun, but then there's a second rainbow.
What's this? Oh, this is cool. Whoa, holy
A man set up an interesting little project in his house. He took a glass cup, placed the stem of a plant in it, added some white and clear pebbles, and filled it with water. It looked like he was trying to grow something, a simple, peaceful little setup, but what he didn't expect was what happened next. To his surprise, a tiny fish started swimming around in the cup. This was like after months that he had made it, and he just noticed the fish. The strange part, this fish is completely transparent, almost invisible, and he's no idea where it came from. It wasn't something he placed in the cup, and it definitely wasn't part of his original plan. The man is baffled, and now he's left wondering, what kind of fish is this and how did it get there? Could it have somehow emerged from the plant or the pebbles? Is it some kind of rare or unknown species? Or is there a more ordinary explanation that he's overlooking? If anyone out there knows what type of fish this could be or how it might have appeared in the cup, we'd love to hear your thoughts.
This is cool. Whoa, holy
A security camera set up in a rural area for security purposes captured what has left both locals and all who saw it online completely stunned. At first, the footage seems ordinary. It was a quiet day with no one walking around and everything being still. But then after a few moments, something strange happens. Did you see that? Let's play it again. Dark, ghostly figure appears from inside one building, swiftly moving across to the building opposite and then vanishes as if it was never there. Some members of the paranormal community think the footage was digitally manipulated, while a number believe this is the real deal. You've seen the clips, so what are your thoughts? These men, who were fishermen by trade, were on a hike to a remote fishing spot in Bolivia when they stumbled upon something unexpected. The area was filled with strange, oddly shaped rocks, and what's even more intriguing is that these rocks eerily resembled flying saucers. Take a look at this footage. Their theory? They believe this could be a UFO landing site, and over time these crafts were somehow petrified in a stone. It's a bold claim, but I must admit the rocks do bear an uncanny resemblance to the classic image of UFOs. What do you think? Could these really be ancient remnants of extraterrestrial technology? Here we have another swarm of insects, this time captured by a man working out in a field. Just look at that. This happened in Texas. The sight alone is overwhelming, but the sound is even more unsettling. You can hear the swarm buzzing loudly, almost like a roar, as if moving through the air. It's as if the entire field is alive with these insects, creating a scene that's both fascinating and terrifying. Swarming insects like this are not uncommon, especially in warmer climates, but witnessing it up close like this is something else entirely. The sheer number of them, combined with that intense buzzing sound, makes for an experience that's hard to forget. How long do you keep your earphones in and your phone plastered to your ear while on a call? You might want to listen to what this man has to say.
iPhones, when most people put it to their head, up to 2 hours later, 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch into the brain tissue is still heated.
He claims that the heat from our devices is causing ear tumors. According to him, prolonged exposure to the electromagnetic radiation emitted by our phones can lead to neoplastic activity, which is essentially the formation of tumors. It makes you think, doesn't it? Now, it seems like everything we use daily is potentially toxic and harmful to us. We rely so heavily on our devices, but at what cost? Is it worth risking our health for the convenience and connectivity that these gadgets provide? This is definitely something to consider the next time you pick up your phone or pop in your earphones for an extended call.
Tissue is still heated from using the phone against your ear. And when you repeatedly heat those things, then tissue actually starts to become neoplastic. We have a pair of surgeons here in town in Dallas. They're busy 5 days a week, booked every single day, all day, taking out parotid gland tumors from people having AirPods, Bluetooth devices, because it's actually causing neoplastic activity. So EMFs absolutely decrease life expectancy.
A man had set out one night outside on one side of the road that was filled with a lot of people on both sides of the road, mostly men. It seems something is going on because the place is noisy. As he was panning his camera across the bustling road, just as he does, 2 large trucks drive by side. One has a massive container while the other hauls an unknown load. But as these trucks pass, something incredibly strange happens. From between the 2 trucks, a man suddenly appears. It's as if he materializes out of thin air right there in the narrow space where no one could realistically fit, not even a child. The road is far too narrow for someone to stand there safely, especially with 2 trucks passing by so closely. Yet, there he is. Witnesses who saw the footage were baffled. Some believe this could be the sighting of a ghost. Others think it might be something even stranger, like a glitch in the Matrix. What do you think?
At first I was confused about what I was seeing, and I just started looking at it, trying to figure out if it was dust or a bug or what have you. And it just started looking more and more like a hand.
A woman had put her baby down to sleep in his crib, keeping a monitor on to check on him. She wasn't asleep yet herself and kept glancing at the screen to make sure he was all right. That's when she noticed something unusual. There was a shiny orb right above the baby's head. As he turned his head to the other side, the orb moved with him. But what was strange was that it seemed to change shape, forming something that almost looked like a ghostly hand hovering above him. Seeing this, she wasn't as surprised as one might think. Her husband had passed away when their baby was just 4 months old, never having the chance to meet his son as he was very sick and in the hospital. She believed this could be her husband making a gentle visit to their baby boy, watching over him from beyond. What do you think? Could this orb really be her late husband's spirit, or is there another explanation?
At first I was confused about what I was seeing, and I just started looking at it, trying to figure out if it was dust or a bug or what have you. And it just started looking more and more like a hand.
There's news going around that the World Economic Forum is considering a shift in our primary source of protein, from animals to insects. Yeah, you heard that right, insects. At first glance, this might seem like a sustainable and innovative solution, but there's more to the story. You would think that this decision is being made with our best interests in mind, but there are some serious concerns that need to be addressed. Many insects are known to carry parasites that can be extremely harmful to humans. These parasites can cause a range of health issues, making the idea of insects as a primary food source quite worrisome. But that's not all. Insects also contain a substance called chitin, which is a tough, fibrous material found in their exoskeletons. Unlike other animals, humans have a hard time digesting chitin. Some studies even suggest that chitin could be carcinogenic to humans, potentially leading to severe health risks if consumed regularly. So while this proposed switch to insect-based protein might sound like a step towards sustainability, it's a decision that raises many questions. Is this really the best option for our health? Or are we overlooking some significant dangers in the pursuit of an alternative protein source? Technology is advancing at an incredible pace, often in ways we don't fully realize until it's already in use. Recently, I came across something that really made me stop and think. Did you know that the Dallas Cowboys are using facial recognition technology to verify their employees? Yeah, you heard that right. The NFL is rolling out this technology across all 32 teams and in 30 stadiums. But it doesn't stop there. The Dallas police are also using facial recognition to keep tabs on criminals. If they can track people like this, imagine the scale when it's applied in a massive stadium where the system is monitoring every single person in real time. It's almost mind-boggling when you think about it. On one hand, this is a brilliant move for security, ensuring that everyone from employees to fans is who they say they are, but on the other hand, it's also quite unsettling. The idea that every face in a crowd is being scanned and tracked is unsettling. Soon this technology will go worldwide and there goes our privacy. It's a good initiative in terms of safety, but the implications are definitely something worth pondering. What do you think? The US presidential election season is often full of buzz, but this year, one incident at one of Kamala Harris's rallies has really caught people's attention. During her speech, a keen observer spotted something unusual in the crowd. Behind her stood a man who seemed to be staring intently at her when, suddenly, his eyes appeared to turn completely white. Though the footage is a bit blurry, the camera zoomed in on him, and for a brief moment, it looked as if his eyes had lost all color. Then, just as suddenly, they returned to normal. This eerie moment has sparked a lot of online chatter, with some calling him a demon or suggesting there might be something otherworldly about it. What do you think? Could it just be a trick of the camera or something more mysterious? Let us hear your thoughts. Now, let's dive into some groundbreaking tech news. Google has reportedly announced plans to build 7 nuclear reactors by 2035. These reactors are projected to be powerful enough to supply energy to an entire city. But what's even more intriguing is why they're building them. Google plans to use this energy to fuel its future AI technologies. Think about it, we're less than a decade and a half away from a world where tech companies could be running their own nuclear-powered facilities just to keep up with the energy demands of AI. This might sound like the stuff of science fiction, but it's quickly become our reality. If Google plans go forward, it's only a matter of time before we see a future powered by AI and nuclear energy, transforming the way we think about technology and energy forever. We don't know exactly where this footage was taken, but the person behind the camera couldn't resist pulling out their phone to capture this really terrifying scene. It was a windy night, and it seemed like a storm was about to roll in. You could hear the thunder rumbling in the distance, but what followed was far from ordinary. Instead of the usual flashes of lightning, the clouds lit up with a fiery orange glow, almost as if they were igniting from within, then quickly plunged back into darkness. This eerie phenomenon repeated itself, lighting up the sky in bursts of orange flame, making the scene look like something straight out of a nightmare. The contrast between the natural sound of thunder and the unnatural, almost otherworldly glow in the clouds is truly unsettling. What could cause such a strange occurrence? Is it some kind of rare weather phenomenon, or is there something more mysterious at play here? This footage was taken over the shores of Indonesia, and it's been causing quite a stir online. A man was taking a walk along the beach when he spotted something unusual falling from the sky. It was a long, dark object with a trail of smoke following behind it. Naturally, he captured the moment on video and it quickly went viral. The mysterious object has sparked a lot of debate, with even experts stepping in to assure the public that they are investigating it. Despite the official interest, no one has been able to identify what it is. Some people speculate that it might be some sort of balloon, but that theory hasn't been confirmed. Others suggest it could be something more out of the ordinary, perhaps even something extraterrestrial. Whatever it is, the lack of a clear explanation has only added to the intrigue. But what do you think about this mysterious object? What could it be? Kids are often believed to possess some sort of sixth sense, allowing them to perceive things that most adults cannot. This footage seems to offer a glimpse into that mysterious ability. In the video, a family is sitting under a shed, relaxing. At one end of the shed, a man is drilling into a tank. Meanwhile, a shirtless little boy, seemingly out of nowhere, suddenly bolts across the shelter, yelling at the adults to get out of there. Moments later, the unthinkable happens. The tank explodes, startling everyone. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but the timing was so eerie. After the incident, the family was left in shock, wondering how the boy knew something was wrong and had the instinct to warn everybody. Could he have sensed danger or seen something the adults couldn't? Two men had taken shelter one stormy night as the rain began to pour down, accompanied by the distant rumble of thunder. You can hear the storm building and the wind howling through the darkness. Suddenly, in a split second, something absolutely terrifying happened. Lightning split the sky, and for a brief moment, something appeared after the lightning bolt. Look at that. Let's watch it again, this time in slow motion. There it is, a horned creature with wings outstretched. You could make out the faint outline of its muscular body as if the lightning had illuminated it, making it glow in the night. And then, just as quickly as it appeared, it vanished into the storm. Well, after firing something out of its hands. What could this have been? Was it some kind of demon? And if it was, why was it carrying out an attack? Did the people annoy it or something? So many questions, yet no one to ask them. A videographer was out in the woods when he captured something truly bizarre. The footage shows a slender, incredibly tall creature with an elongated head and small black eyes. Its arms are so long that they reach well beyond its knees. The creature stands still, facing the camera for a few moments before quietly walking away into the trees. Could this be a real alien encounter, or is it just another fake? The footage is eerily convincing, but with the level of special effects today, it's hard to tell. What do you think? Now, what do we have here? This man was standing on this very short pole with his body hunched backwards, and there's no sign of a harness, rope, or any visible support. It's almost as if gravity has taken a break just for him. Is this some kind of black magic at work, or is this guy just exceptionally skilled at balancing his weight in a way that defies logic? The more you look at it, the stranger it gets. How is he managing this without toppling over? I simply have no words, and I don't want to get Julius involved, so what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Confused by what you're seeing? Believe me when I say we were too when we initially saw it. The clip starts off with what looks like some animal being on all fours. A few seconds in, we see there are multiples of these beings, and they are in fact capable of standing on their 2 feet. The thing about these creatures, or beings however, is that their body proportions are just not right. They have slimmer limbs than you would associate with a human, which begs the question, who or what exactly are we dealing with? The answer to that could be anything given the fact that this was allegedly recorded on a trail cam in the wilderness. A number of individuals in the paranormal community who saw this believe we're dealing with a shapeshifter. Looking at the clip, I get where they're coming from, but is that the real situation though? I'll let you guys decide on this one. A homeowner shared security footage from inside his home, and what the camera captured is truly bizarre. A large glowing light orb was floating around in one of the rooms. There were no apparent entry points or sources of light that could explain how it got there. It just seemed to appear out of nowhere. Light orbs remain one of the most mysterious and unexplained phenomena. Whether they are entities, natural occurrences, or something else entirely is still up for debate. Often these orbs are associated with extraterrestrial life because of the way they move, as if they possess some form of intelligence. I mean, we already showed one earlier, but that acted differently from this one, so what do you think this floating orb could be? A homeowner was getting ready to retire for the night. As he turned off the lights, preparing to settle in, something outside the window caught his eye. Curious and a bit unsettled, he turned off the lights again, plunging the room into darkness to get a better look. And there, crouched in the shadows, was a figure. At first, it looked like a human, but there was something deeply unsettling about it. The figure was pale, completely naked, and its movements were anything but normal. The moment it realized the man was watching, it began crawling rapidly on the ground, moving straight toward the house. Panic set in as the homeowner quickly moved away from the window, his heart racing. The footage ends abruptly, leaving us in suspense, wondering what happened next. But one thing is for sure, that creature did not look like it was the next-door neighbor. What could it have been? Julius and I have gone back and forth on this footage, and after many hours, we still can't seem to agree on what it could be. The footage, shared by a man, shows something truly unusual, a spiraling phenomenon in the sky. You can see the clouds being gradually sucked into this spiral, and it's definitely not a tornado. As the video goes on, an orb appears and flies directly into the spiral, after which the atmosphere seems to clear up. This whole scene feels so real to me, almost like some sort of portal opening up, but Julius thinks it's a fake. Now, I'm usually open to speculation, and he could very well be right, but there's just something about this footage that keeps me intrigued. What do you guys think? Is this a real-life portal or just another clever hoax? Let me know in the comments.
Nope.
Let's dive into two eerie pieces of footage captured by different people at unknown locations, showing something massive and unexplainable behind the clouds. In the first video, a man noticed an odd shape lurking behind a large cloud. At first, it looks like an ordinary part of the blue sky, but the top of this object is curved, almost dome-like, while the rest seems to be hidden behind the cloud. It gives the strange impression that something is cloaked in the sky. The second clip is taken by a woman during sunset. It shows something even more dramatic. Against the bright orange horizon, there's a massive curved shape, larger than the first sighting. Bright flashes seem to illuminate the area, briefly highlighting what appears to be a dome-like sky. What could these shapes be? Are they just oddly shaped clouds, or is there something much larger and more mysterious hidden up there? Aaron thinks something extraterrestrial may be at play here. What say you?
Oh my. Do you hear that? Is that happening for you too?
It turns out even superstars aren't safe from eerie encounters. Check out this clip from Taylor Swift's concert when something strange happens. She's seated at the piano, hands off the keys, when suddenly it begins to play on its own. You can see her hands in the air and she's visibly unsettled, looking around in confusion. Could this be the work of a super fan from the other side wanting to join in, or maybe just a technical glitch at the worst possible moment?
I didn't play that, so that means that. Oh my.
Have you ever seen a skinwalker in action? No? Well, today's your lucky day. Enjoy. This was recorded by a man out in the countryside. At least, that's the impression the man who re-uploaded it gave. As he was driving, they had lights out looking around. I'm not sure why, but this allowed them to capture something rather unusual. They caught glimpses of a creature that seemed to morph from a humanoid to an animalistic state and vice versa. This clip is a tad confusing based on the extra edit, but you do see it, right? Now, the big question on everyone's mind when this was uploaded was, how's this possible? It turns out the answer is simple: skinwalker. As to whether everyone agrees, that's another thing on its own, but then again, you've seen the clip yourself, so what do you think? An observer shared some intriguing footage they captured one night that's been sparking a lot of curiosity. In the video, there's this shiny, oddly shaped figure hovering in the sky. Initially, the observer thought it might just be a bright star, but as they zoomed in, it became clear that this was no ordinary celestial object. The figure has a strange, almost otherworldly appearance that has left many baffled. I even asked my team for their thoughts, but no one could definitively say what it was, so naturally I did some digging in the comments section where people shared their theories. One person speculated that it could be a portal opening up to who knows where. Another commenter confidentially labeled it as a UFO, which is always a possibility when it comes to mysterious sky sightings. But the comment that piqued my interest was from someone who suggested that this could be a plasma being. Now, I don't know about you, but the idea of a living entity made of plasma floating through the sky is both fascinating and a little unsettling. What do you think?
The fuck is that?
No, what's...
Run!
Guys, wait! Oh.
A group of friends went camping, enjoying the outdoors, and settled into their tents for the night. One of them had a camera ready to record, capturing the calm night scene. Suddenly, his tent mate burst out of the tent yelling, "Run!" Without asking questions, he bolted out of the tent, joining the rest of his friends who had already started running. When he finally reached a safe distance, he looked back, and this is what he saw. Inside one of the tents was a creature, crouched on all fours. It certainly didn't seem human, but if it wasn't, then what on earth was it?
The fuck is that?
No, what's...
Run!
Guys, wait! Oh. Richtig. Richtig. Sie können gerne versuchen mitzuspielen, meine Damen und Herren. Richtig. Richtig.
You know that spot the difference game? The one when you've given two nearly identical images except for a tiny change somewhere and you have to find it. It's a game that can get intense, especially when the images are full of colorful details and busy characters. Well, there's this little girl who's an absolute genius at it. Watch her as she finds each difference in a blink of an eye without even the most challenging, trickiest images. She barely takes a second, and there she is, pointing out the subtle detail that's different. Meanwhile, most of us would still be scanning both pictures, scratching our heads. How does she do it? Could it be a super sharp eye for detail, or maybe some kind of natural talent for pattern recognition? Well, it turns out it's thanks to a technique called stereopsis training. This method involves the use of stereograms or cross-eyed images, improves binocular vision by teaching both eyes to work together for depth perception. Originally, the young girl, Mara, underwent this vision therapy to address convergence insufficiency, a condition affecting her ability to focus on nearby objects. Through the therapy, her brain adapted, enhancing her visual perception and allowing her to process complex images with impressive speed and accuracy, demonstrating the power of neuroplasty. Impressive, huh?
Richtig. Yep.
Camping can be an exhilarating adventure, but it's definitely not for the faint of heart, and this story is a perfect example of why. Imagine being out in the wilderness, enjoying the serenity of nature, only to be jolted awake in the dead of the night by unsettling noises.
Ai, meu Deus do céu! Vocês estão entendendo o quanto de jacaré tem aqui? Ai, meu Deus. Eu tô na barraca literalmente pra acampar. Vamos dormir aqui, guys? Teu cu. Ferrou meu...
A man experienced this exact scenario during his camping trip. As he cautiously peeked outside his tent, he was met with a heart-stopping sight as a group of crocodiles just lying in wait right outside his tent. The sheer terror of realizing you're surrounded by these ancient predators with nothing but a thin layer of fabric separating you from them is enough to make anyone stay off camping forever. As much as nature can be beautiful and calming, it's stories like these that remind us of its unpredictable and sometimes dangerous side. Personally, I don't know how we manage to stay calm, but for me, that would be a hard pass. Would you take the risk, or would this be your last camping trip too?
Ai, meu Deus do céu! Vocês estão entendendo o quanto de jacaré tem aqui? Ai, meu Deus. Eu tô na barraca literalmente pra acampar. Vamos dormir aqui, guys? Teu cu. Ferrou meu...
This is yet another bizarre sighting captured in the sky, and it's truly otherworldly. The footage shows random streaks of light flashing across the sky, and when these lights appear, they illuminate the surroundings, revealing strange, colorful forms that resemble a maze of odd, rock-like structures. The scene is undeniably beautiful, but it also raises many questions. Could this be a case of CGI? Or is there a chance that something more unusual is happening, perhaps something beyond our current understanding? While the beauty of the imagery is captivating, the possibility that it could be fake cannot be ignored. In fact, a number of individuals think it's fake. But what about you? In this vast universe, it seems improbable that humans are the only intelligent beings to exist on Earth. There's so much more beyond what meets the human eye. Aside from the physical beings we can see, various theories, cultural beliefs, and even religious teachings suggest that there are spiritual entities invisible to the naked eye. However, at times, it appears that these entities may attempt to make themselves visible. Look at this footage. A man was walking through a town completely unaware that something strange was happening behind him. An observer noticed a dark entity following him closely. What's odd is that this figure wasn't his shadow, it was something separate, moving in sync with him. Yet the man didn't seem to notice anything out of the ordinary. Could this be a spirit, a shadow figure, or something else entirely? What do you think this dark presence could be? This footage comes from a security camera and it captures something truly bizarre. A man is standing outside, completely still, staring straight ahead, but the strange part? There's a line of glowing orbs right in front of him. The man's gaze appears locked on the orbs, almost as if he's been entranced by them. The uploader of the footage believes that these orbs might have hypnotized him, and honestly, standing outside in the middle of the night frozen in place is definitely out of the ordinary. Could it be that these orbs are responsible for his strange behavior? We've seen orbs on this channel before, but never had we had any hypnotized people. Could these things be evolving, or have they always been capable of doing more than we realized? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Next, we've got this video that was taken in Indonesia. A woman was out on what looked like a farm, and she captured something truly strange. There was this bizarre-looking object flying over the plants, and it appeared to be on fire. As it hovered, it seemed almost otherworldly. Now here's the part that gets even weirder. You can see the woman holding the object afterward. It's greenish, almost like a fruit, except it's twisted and coiled like a snake. In the center of this coiled mass is a small, oddly shaped wooden piece. The whole thing looks like something straight out of a dark folktale. I was confused by this footage at first, unsure of what to make of it, until I saw a comment that made my jaw drop. It's a kind of long-range missile sent by someone to harm or kill the targeted person. Black magic. Apparently, this could be some type of black magic weapon designed to bring harm to someone from a distance. I know. The idea that such a thing could exist is chilling, but what other explanations can you have for this? CGI? What if it's truly real? This intriguing footage was captured by a pilot flying a Boeing 747 on the night of August 4th, 2024. In the vast expanse of the night sky, they noticed something highly unusual, a strange light that was much larger and brighter than the surrounding stars. What made it even more bizarre was its movement. Unlike the steady, predictable paths of stars as satellites, this light darted rapidly from one location to another, almost as if it had a mind of its own. The crew was completely mesmerized by the sight. The light's erratic behavior didn't align with anything they could logically explain. It wasn't behaving like a star, which is stationary relative to the Earth, nor did it resemble a satellite which follows a smooth, consistent orbit. This led them to speculate that what they were witnessing might be something out of this world, a UFO. The possibility of encountering something truly unknown, something beyond our current understanding, sent a wave of excitement and a bit of fear through the crew. After all, it's not every day that you see something in the sky that defies all expectations and explanations. Could this be evidence of extraterrestrial life, or is there a more earthly explanation for this mysterious light? A man was driving home one night when he came across something strange in the sky. These mysterious lights were lighting up the night, hidden behind the clouds, making it impossible to see where they were coming from. But take a look at the formation. It almost seems like some kind of craft up there. Now, do you know any planes with lights arranged in this kind of formation? Most people are quick to jump to the idea that this could be a UFO, while skeptics are calling it a hoax or saying the footage is edited. But here's the thing. The light appears to reflect on the road, and you can even see them through the trees as the car drives by. So is this just an elaborate edit, or could they actually be something unidentified flying up there just out of sight? Take a look at this footage before I explain anything. In this clip, a woman is calling out to her pet dog, Frenchie, who is hiding under the covers of her bed. But here's the catch. Frenchie had already passed away. She believes that her dog's spirit still visits her and hides behind the covers, just like it used to when she was alive. As you can see, there is a clear movement under the covers, almost as if something is wriggling around. Both clips capture the moment vividly, and after a moment, whatever is causing the disturbance seems to vanish into thin air. So what do you think? Could this be a sign that a dog is keeping her company in spirit? While you think about it, take a look at this clip. Do you know what that is? Well, you can't say no because this is our bonus clip for the day. Your job is simple. Try to identify the creature in the clip and give us a unique characteristic about it. The best answer will receive a shout out from Julius if it impresses him enough. So all the best. This video was taken by a father who was at a park with his kids enjoying a day out when things took a creepy turn. The kids suddenly noticed something or someone in the woods nearby and were so spooked that they ran toward their dad. Sensing something was off, the father quickly pulled out his phone and walked toward the tree to get a better look at whatever had frightened his children. As he approached, he captured something truly bizarre. A strange, pale head, elongated far beyond what any human could have, just popping back into the bushes. The shape and movement were unnatural, almost otherworldly. What could this be? Is it an alien, some kind of mysterious cryptid, or just some creep?
En el pilastrón. ¿Qué? En el pilastrón. En el pilastrón está él, güey. Ay, cabrón. Ahí está. No mames, güey. Lo estoy viendo, güey. Bestia. ¿Es él? No lo veo. ¿O es sombra, güey? Se está moviendo, se está moviendo, se está moviendo, güey. Eso no es sombra, eso no es sombra. Es él, güey. ¡Ah, la verga! No mames.
Recently, this particular video has been going everywhere. I have watched it several times and have my theories. Since it's been a while since I asked you guys for your opinion on a post, let's do this one together. I won't be providing this commentary, but I would very much love to hear what you think about it. What do you see? Why do you see it? And what do you think it could mean? Let's get creative in the comments section.
Viendo, güey. Bestia. ¿Es él? ¿O es sombra, güey? Se está moviendo, güey. Es una sombra, es una sombra. Es él, güey. ¡Ah, la verga, güey! No mames.
Literally right behind
you
us
guys.
Now. He's right by that mailbox and he's not there.
He's not there and the truck is not there. What the? What the? He's right there.
A woman was parked in a lot, glancing back to check her surroundings when she noticed a man walking toward a car with a red truck behind him. But when she looked at a car's rear camera screen, there was nothing there. No man, no truck, just an empty path. What could this be? A glitch in the camera feed, or could it be something stranger like a peek into a parallel universe overlapping ours for a moment?
Literally right behind
you
us
guys.
Now. He's right by that mailbox and he's not there.
He's not there and the truck is not there. What the? What the? He's right there.
Okay, so I will say I'm stupid for drinking. That knife fell out of that little knife container thingy. No. This is all because, dude, this is getting dangerous, bro. You're gonna cut yourself.
A man captured this chilling footage in the middle of the night when he went into the kitchen and found one of the knives lying over a bowl. As he was talking, something truly disturbing happened. One of the knives from the knife rack suddenly flung out and embedded itself perfectly into the wooden floor. Now let's pause for a moment. The knife was stored in such a way that it's practically impossible for it to just uproot from the rack on its own, let alone fly out and land so precisely into the wood. The physics just doesn't add up. What makes this even more unsettling is that the man behind the camera is calmly communicating with whatever entity might be present. There's no panic in his voice, which might make you wonder, could this be real or just an elaborate hoax?
No. This is all because, dude, this is getting dangerous, bro. You're gonna cut yourself.
When you buy your own ticket, you can put that you're a kid, or you can do senior citizen. Do y'all see that?
What was that?
Did you see that?
Yeah, what was that?
This lady was allegedly at a gym recording and making vlogs. You know, the thing that most individuals in the gym do instead of working out. Yeah, that. She was out there doing exactly that when she noticed something transparent come out of her and leave. Obviously, if anyone genuinely has such an experience, they'd be shaken up and quite scared, which is how she reported feeling. The big question on hers and everyone else's mind when she uploaded the clip was, what is that? Do we have an answer now? Well, no, but we can speculate. Aaron thinks it could be an apparition if the clip is genuinely true. Julius refused to comment because he thinks it makes him sound negative. There were some in the comments, however, who said what I imagine Julius would have loved to say. It's not real. There were some who, however, shared theories on what it could be. As you can see, some of the comments were nice, saying it might be water vapor, whereas others thought it was a vape. There were some mean comments too, like this person who said it was probably a ghost or spirit leaving her body because she wouldn't shut up. What say you? What do you also think about this?
Do y'all see that?
What was that?
Did you see that?
Yeah, what was that?
Esto como de luz pasando, pero no se graba muy bien y luego después sale, se para ahí y como que se convierte en un señor, mira. Y se queda ahí todavía está corriendo el reloj de grabando y se mira como...
In August 2024, a CCTV camera in an empty field recorded something that left many people questioning what they just witnessed. The footage shows an orb glowing softly, drifting over a patch of grassland. It moves almost as if it has a purpose before coming to a complete stop. But what happens next is even more unsettling. Slowly, the light begins to shift, stretching and reshaping until it takes on the figure of a person. As the image becomes clearer, we see what looks like a man dressed in white pants and a shirt, his hair dark. He stands there, eerily still, as though waiting for something. Then, with a sudden movement, he turns around, but as he does, his form distorts, and within moments, the figure dissolves, reshaping back into the glowing orb and floats away in the same direction it arrived. Could this strange sighting be linked to the mysterious orbs people have been reporting in various places? Are these orbs more than just lights, possibly shape-shifting entities watching us, moving among us unseen? Share your thoughts.
Esto como de luz pasando, pero no se graba muy bien y luego después sale, se para ahí y como que se convierte en un señor, mira. Y se queda ahí todavía está corriendo el reloj de grabando y se mira como...
A man was walking home late at night and decided to take a shortcut through a bridge in the middle of the woods. As he climbed onto the bridge, he began to feel uneasy, like someone was watching him. Trying to shake the feeling, he pulled out his camera and started filming, panning around to see if he could catch anything unusual. When he looked down, there was a face staring up at him. It was a grotesque red face with matted black hair watching him intently. Just as he spotted it, the figure quickly disappeared into the darkness, leaving him rattled. Some people are speculating that it could be a witch or spirit, but others are puzzled by the red, bright face. Could it be some other type of entity, or is there a different reason for its disturbing appearance? What do you think he encountered that night?
Walking along here, and I run into this tree with this stupid grin on his face. It's just like the most perfect tree face I've ever seen.
The man behind his camera found this tree in the woods. That's pretty eerie, isn't it? Trees aren't supposed to have faces, but here we are, looking at a tree that seems to be staring right back at us. The natural placement of these holes almost perfectly mimics a human face, making it seem like the tree is alive in a way that's more than just its usual biological sense. What's even more intriguing is that it doesn't seem like anyone carved those features into the tree. They look completely natural, as if the tree just grew that way. It's almost like something out of a fairy tale or folklore where trees come to life and have their personalities. Could this just be a coincidence, a quirk of nature, or is there something more to it? What do you think?
He's like a little less happy, you know, he's just more is what it is kind of tree.
Someone stumbled upon this strange and eerie figure floating in the sky. The figure appeared to resemble a person dressed in a long robe with their arms stretched out in front of them, as if they were reaching out towards something or perhaps someone. This naturally left many people puzzled. Could this be some sort of advanced hologram, an elaborate trick of the light, or something even more mysterious? It's hard to say, but this is one I would love to hear your thoughts on. Not everyone believes in the paranormal, but there are plenty who do, and this particular footage might just sway a few more to that side.
Keeps going and going and going. Not smelling thick stuff out all the time, but hold up, here it goes again. Yeah. Just the way it moves, it's freaky.
A couple decided to use a Ouija board to communicate with an entity, hoping to catch some sort of paranormal activity. What's interesting about this video is that neither of them touched the planchette, yet it still moved. You can clearly see it glide across the board on its own. Just look at that. For those unfamiliar with it, the Ouija board is said to be a medium for communicating with spirits. This couple appeared to be in contact with something as the planchette began spelling out the word careful. The moment the man asked, careful of what, things escalated quickly. The chair and the table next to them moved aggressively, startling both of them. The man insists that the footage is not a hoax, so what do you think? Could this really be the work of a spirit? And for those who tried a Ouija board before, was it effective in communicating with the spirit world? Has your life been the same since using it? Let us know in the comments. I wouldn't advise anyone here to play around with one though.
Keeps going and going and going. Not spelling thick stuff out all the time, but hold up, here it goes again. Yeah. Just the way it moves, it's freaky.
Here we have some bizarre footage of an unusual object moving across the sky. What's strange is that it appears to have originated from the ground and is now floating upward into the sky. The object itself doesn't seem like any typical aircraft or drone. It has an almost erratic movement, almost as if it's not following a natural flight pattern. Some say it looks like a strange craft, while others speculate it might be some sort of balloon or even weather anomaly. But what makes it even more compelling is how it started from the ground and ascended. It raises questions. Was it launched? Was it something that naturally lifted off, or could it be some unknown technology? These are questions we don't exactly have answers to. Do you? A property owner in New Jersey stumbled upon a truly bizarre discovery during a routine inspection of one of her properties. While exploring the house, she entered a room that had a staircase leading to what she assumed was a basement. But what she found was far from a basement. It was an entire hidden house below the main structure. The hidden area had multiple rooms, hallways, and what appeared to be fully functional living spaces. What's more alarming is that she wasn't informed about this feature when purchasing the property. Why would there be a fully hidden house beneath the main one? Was it used for something illegal or sinister? A shelter? A secret operation? Or perhaps something even more mysterious? Also, I do see some natural light coming into the apartment below. How could anyone not have noticed these openings from the outside? Humans and animals typically respect their territories. Wild animals roam forests and jungles, while humans inhabit towns and cities. A man driving home one night captured something extraordinary on video. A whole pride of lions, more than 10 strong, casually strolling through city streets. The scene is both surreal and terrifying. Luckily, the man was safely inside his car, but the sight of these majestic creatures outside their natural habitat left everyone stunned. Even experts are puzzled by why a pride of lions would leave the wild for the urban landscape. Some speculate they might have been chased out by a threat, while others suggest it could be part of a migration, but the truth remains unclear. Perhaps we shouldn't be too surprised. After all, humans venture into the wild to hike, camp, and explore. Maybe this was just a family of lions on their own version of a hike.
Quick.
This footage from Bengal, India is quite intense. The residents gathered in a room drawn by a strange animalistic growl, only to find that it's coming from a man who seems to be possessed. The aggression, the growling, and the eerie atmosphere all make this situation feel very unsettling. What's intriguing here is the divide between those who believe it's a supernatural possession and those who might think it's a psychological issue. Possession stories have been told across cultures for centuries, but modern science often attributes these behaviors to mental health conditions. However, there are cases where the behavior goes beyond what seems explainable, making it hard to dismiss the possibility of something more. In this footage, the man's growls and aggression certainly don't seem normal. His behavior is beyond what you'd expect from someone just lashing out or being disturbed. It feels primal. But at the same time, it's important to acknowledge that mental illness can manifest in unpredictable ways. The dilemma here is that when a situation blurs the line between science and the supernatural, it becomes hard to know for sure. So, what could it be here? There are a lot of strange incidents that have made it to our category of glitches in the Matrix. These incidents are typically too weird to explain, and this next clip is no different.
Yep, okay. If I go down that way, that brings me down. So, I'm walking up. But when I round the corner, nothing.
This woman had parked her car in an underground parking lot. After finishing her errands, she returned to get a car only to find something truly unsettling. Her car was on the other side of a wall. Now the weird part, there was no other cars around, no apparent way for her car to have moved, and no clear path to have even reached it. The wall seemed to have barricaded her car, as if it had appeared out of nowhere. She tried walking around, but no matter how hard she looked, there was no space or entrance leading to a car. How did her car get there? Was it some sort of optical illusion, a malfunction in reality, or a glitch in the Matrix? Sounds crazy, but it's hard to explain how something like this could even happen. Was the wall always there, or did it just appear while she was gone? Julius thinks she's probably just lost, but Aaron believes she may be onto something. What say you?
Yep, okay. If I go down that way, that brings me down. So, I'm walking up. But when I round the corner, nothing.
So not sure if to consider this a leak, but somehow I think it is. The picture you see on your screen was allegedly captured by an unmanned military capsule, a Russian one to be precise. Looking at this, we can right out of the bat say it's not human or anything remotely close. It looks like a fishman or simply an aquatic creature in humanoid form. When I saw this, I was about to ignore it until I saw comments from individuals in Russia who confirmed that there had been military ops around the lake they lived by. Some even mentioned that some of the soldiers involved in the op were killed by unknown creatures suspected to be aliens inside the lake. Being the civilians that they were not allowed to know anything concerning the operations, but they heard rumors. This brings us to two questions. What exactly are we looking at? Why is the government being secretive about it? Okay, let's add a third and fourth question. Did the Russians find aliens? Why did the aliens kill them? These are questions we may never have answers to, but if this image is genuine and it was actually captured during a military op with beings suspected to be aliens, then we indeed have a problem. A very big one. Sure, we've had a lot of UFO clips, but you can never have too many UFO clips, am I right? This orange light in the dark sky is one that has been circulating in the paranormal community for weeks, if not months now. Many individuals who saw it believed they were UFOs racing across our skies at night. While some debated its authenticity, someone in the community recently shared this clip linking the orange orbs to old and ancient religious paintings. Somehow, these paintings have descriptions of alien or heavenly beings in vehicles that have similar orange hues. While that's interesting, it's also got us thinking. Did the ancients see and interact with aliens? If they did, what happened? Why did it end? If they didn't, how come many religions across various continents have similar paintings of such beings or instances at some point in their history? So many questions, yet not enough answers. Do you guys have any answers or ideas, to say the least? A home ring camera picked up something truly strange in someone's backyard. In the dead of night, a person can be seen moving away from the house, walking directly toward the fence. But here's the eerie part. This figure does not stop, it just glides right through the wooden fence as if it isn't even there. You can see the shadow of this person passing in front of the light, so it seems real enough. It even looks like a man in a cap. But that ability to move effortlessly through solid wood, well, that's definitely not something we'd call human. So what's going on here? Are we seeing some kind of superhuman ability, or is this figure a ghostly presence caught on film? Here's yet another terrifying clip the couple shared from their unsettling new home. In this footage, the woman was home alone with their dog when she heard a loud banging noise coming from downstairs. She went to check, only to find their dog standing on a door. This door is from an opening above the stairwell in the wall, located just below the ceiling. What's creepy about this is that they had tried to open that door before, but it seemed securely sealed. Now it had somehow come loose on its own. And as if that wasn't disturbing enough, one of her husband's shoes was sitting right beside the opening in the wall, as though placed there intentionally. Understandably freaked out, the woman decided to back away and wait for her husband to get home. Looks like the couple are in for a ride with whatever is in there with them. Japan is known for its technological advancements and cultural richness, but despite all that, it faces challenges with mental health, including one of the highest self-harm rates in the world. One of the most common methods is individuals jumping in front of trains. To address this heartbreaking issue, Japan has implemented innovative measures to curb these incidents. One such measure is the installation of blue LED lights in the subway and train stations across the country. Research suggests the blue light has a calming effect on the mind, potentially reducing impulsive behaviors. The soothing glow creates a more tranquil environment, helping individuals in distress rethink their actions during moments of crises. This is a step toward creating safer, more supporting spaces for everyone, and while it's something we should applaud, it has me thinking. Are our government secretly implementing things to make us behave in a certain way? I know I'm reaching with this one, but think about it. Take a look at this eerie footage captured by a CCTV camera in a quiet room. It shows a person lying still on a bed. As the camera rolls, something truly bizarre happens. A strange, translucent form seems to rise out of the person's body. It hovers momentarily, almost as if it's gathering itself, and then slowly dissipates in a thin air. Could this be the moment a soul leaves the body? The ethereal movement and timing of this phenomena certainly make it look like something more than a simple glitch or shadow. What do you think? During a road trip, a woman decided to pull over and take a break. She parked her car and walked a few steps away when she noticed something unusual on the ground. It looked like a thick black substance, almost like engine oil. At first, she thought a car might be leaking, but then something strange happened. The dark, oily-looking substance started to shift, almost like it was alive. It moved across the ground in a way that didn't seem natural at all. Could it have been some kind of strange living matter, or maybe an unknown type of liquid reacting to the environment? A man was out hunting in the woods, listening carefully for the sound of movement when he heard some leaves rustling. He thought he had finally spotted his game, but what he saw instead was far more unsettling. Above a bush, there was a blurry, almost transparent shape. It looked as though something was trying to camouflage itself, blending in with the surroundings. Despite its attempt to remain hidden, you could still make out its presence. What could this be? A cloaked alien, some kind of advanced military technology, or something else entirely? I guess we will never really know. Now, I've been surfing on a few occasions, mostly in England, in Devon and Cornwall, and in some places in Spain. I have never, ever thought about the possibility of surfing and suddenly looking down and seeing a shark. No. But apparently this is what we got, and even before I see it, that's one big damn shark. Oh my God. Now, surfers get attacked by sharks all the time. As much as it's a pretty rare incident, it does happen. And we've seen plenty of bits of footage before where we've seen fins come out of waves, we've seen shadows like this following surfers. We've seen it before. Wow, I just wish I knew where this was filmed. Probably Australia, right? Somewhere like that, or Durban, South Africa, something like that. But man, that would put me off surfing for life. With that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Now, have you got footage? Have you got anything that you can give us that we can show on this channel, and then we will say it came from you? Give you a shout out. Now, if you do, give it to us and send it at classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing, and we'll put it in our next episode. That is, of course, if you want. We do. Anyway, I've been Steve. This has been Classified Captures. Now do me a favor and share this video with everyone. We want more viewers, because we're greedy like that. I'll see you later. Mwah.